ball, sends it over to Edward Robles. Goal! InsertName FC! Let's go, InsertName FC! What is up, everybody? It is Hector Flores, host of the InsertName FC podcast, a member of the BellyUpSports Media Network. And you can listen to us to all things podcasts. If it's a podcast inside, we're probably on it, so you can find us there. Also, you can find us on YouTube at InsertName FC. That's where you can find the video version of this podcast. And of course, GolzTV. GolzTV is the Hulu of soccer content, of American soccer content. So if you guys want to see the American perspective, or if you're a fan of a specific MLS team, for instance, I'm a Houston Dynamo fan, which apparently people are still shocked that I'm a Dynamo fan. Not specifically because of the way the club is. The club is great, but more so because of me being released by the Dynamo. Which, once again, I have no ill will towards the Dynamo. Nothing, no ill will. But and don't think that that's me saying that there is. But I still love the club, no matter what. And even I still love all the people there, everybody there. So yeah. But yeah, so I like the Houston Dynamo. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out on GolzTV, there's Foxtrot, which Andres Naranjo, he came on the podcast for an interview a while back. But him and his crew over there, Foxtrot, is definitely a really great place to be informed of what's going on with the Houston Dynamo. So, and they're available on GolzTV. So that's, for instance, and also we have Moussa, who covers St. Louis SC, which is funny because that's the matchup for the Champions Cup. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, just content all around. You'll see me there from time to time with Yanks of the Round Table or with Wake Up MLS. So you'll see me there from time to time as well with some of their original programming. But yeah, GolzTV, go ahead and check them out. But as you can tell, it's just me today. I'll probably explain it a little bit at the end of the episode, but I started a job. I'm no longer with that job, and like I said, I'll kind of explain it as my closing thought for the end of the episode. But because of that, I wasn't able to record with Edward yesterday, which yesterday was Monday, which that's when we usually record. So it is Tuesday, and so yeah, Edward's not available to record. So that's why it's just me today. But in this episode, we're going to talk transfers. We're going to preview the Champions League round of 16. For you Europa League and Europa Conference League fans, I don't think those exist. But for those tournaments, I think because they're gonna do their knockout round before they go into the round of 16. So for them, we probably won't start talking about those tournaments till the semifinal. Unfortunately, the thing is, it's just me and Edward are just not that informed on the teams that are gonna be in that tournament, and probably once we get to like the semifinals, we'll probably be able to have a better idea of those teams, because those are probably the teams that we know a little bit better. So just so you guys know, but Champions League will be something we will be covering throughout in the podcast. So Champions League, Moussa from Mo Football will be joining us yet again because the semifinals are over. There's going to be a final this week, so we're going to recap the quarterfinals as well, recap the semifinal, and then preview, guys, the final of the 2023 African Cup of Nations. Announce players of the week, give you guys some games to look forward to this coming weekend. Obviously, the big one, African Cup of Nations final and the Asian Cup final will be this weekend, so that's going to be the big one to look forward to. And we'll wrap this show. Being that it's just me, we'll wrap it up with my closing thoughts, which is something that I used to do when I was working with the Houston Dynamo because I couldn't record with Edward. So I would just say a closing, just some random thought, uh, which I think my closing thought I think is gonna be pretty obvious. Is just talk about the job that I just quit from. So we'll see how that goes, man. But we'll go ahead and take a break, and then we'll get going with transfer talk.
Are you ready to elevate your sports betting experience? Look no further than DraftKings Sportsbook. Why choose DraftKings Sportsbook? Unmatched variety. Bet on your favorite sports leagues or discover new ones to follow. Live betting. Test your instincts and feel the adrenaline as you bet in real time while the game unfolds. Promotions and boosted odds. DraftKings keeps the excitement going with a range of promotions, odds boosts, and special offers. And a user-friendly interface. Whether you're a seasoned bettor or new to the game, DraftKings' intuitive platform makes placing bets a breeze. Ready to dive in? BellyUpSports has partnered with DraftKings Sportsbook to give you an exclusive offer. Sign up at dkng.co/BellyUp150 and new customers will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet $5 or more. Don't miss out on this opportunity to take your love for sports to the next level. Sign up today and let the games begin. Please gamble responsibly. 21 years or older. Eligibility restrictions apply. See website for details.
All right, man. So make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and the X at InsertNameFC. Also check us out on TikTok at insert.name.fc for clips of the episode, random videos, posts, all that stuff. You'll be informed on those sites. So go ahead and check us out. Transfers. All right. Seko Fofana joins Al Ettifaq on loan. He is leaving Al Nassr, I believe, or I forgot what club he's. I think it's Al Nassr actually, but he is going to Al Ettifaq. Obviously, if you guys don't know, that is the club where Jordan Henderson dipped out and went to Ajax. So they're hoping that Seko Fofana could be that replacement for Jordan Henderson. Gio Reyna is joining Nottingham Forest on loan. And I believe that he has also signed an extension with Borussia Dortmund. So this is kind of an interesting move just because of the fact that, I mean, it's Nottingham Forest, but it from what it looks like, it seems like this is a place where he's going to be able to play. Fortunately, we can't say the same of another American player, but yeah. But I think the extension from Borussia Dortmund is interesting because that could mean either Borussia Dortmund believes in Gio Reyna, or it could be another thing. I think what it could be also is just that, hey, Gio Reyna, we're gonna give you a new contract. We're gonna extend you. We're gonna send you on loan. Now, if Gio Reyna performs during his loan stay at Nottingham Forest, and I think that opens up Borussia Dortmund with an opportunity to be able to sell Gio Reyna probably for a little bit more. So that's what I'm guessing. Don't quote me, but that's what I'm guessing. But continue on. Duncan McGuire is joining Blackburn Rovers. So this guy, I think, was drafted last year by Orlando City. Balled out, and after 1 year is going to Europe. Yes, it's Blackburn Rovers, but still, that's one hell of a stint to just have one season in the MLS after being drafted and to going overseas already. So good for him. Good for Duncan McGuire. Brian Zaragoza is joining Bayern Munich on loan. Bayern Munich looking to add some youth. It's interesting on that one. Paxton Aaronson is joining Betis on loan, so he is not really getting much playing time over at Eintracht Frankfurt. So he's gonna go to Betis, which I believe is in the Eredivisie. Don't quote me on that one, but he's on loan over there. Andres Santos joins Strasbourg on loan. He's like one of those high potential Brazilian players, so trying to get some play time, trying to get some burn there. Matt Sells joins Nottingham Forest. This is the goalkeeper. Yeah, this is basically the kiss of death for Matt Turner. Matt Turner can either, but at this point, there's nowhere Matt Turner could go. Transfer window's done, so he's staying put. So he's gonna have to either beat this guy, which I mean, his current run of form right now with Nottingham has not been great, or we'll see what happens there. We'll just see. Armando Broja joins Fulham on loan. Another interesting loan move there. Arturo Vidal joins Colo Colo. That's a Chilean club. That's actually his boyhood club. So another legend going back to where it all started for him. So it was very interesting too, by the way, the presentation for Arturo Vidal. He was riding a horse. It's definitely a sight to see. Um, yeah. So really all I can say about that, just the idea of Arturo Vidal just on horseback presented to the club, to the people of Colo Colo. Yeah, all right. It's different. I like it. But yeah, there it is. Said Rama is joining Lyon on loan. Lyon having a big win against Olympique Marseille this past weekend. If you guys remember, Olympique Lyon is one of the two teams that is featured on this year's jersey bet, which once again is if Lyon and Sevilla both avoid relegation, I will be doing a jersey giveaway. So once again, just remember that. Uh, Pablo Fornals is joining Real Betis, um, which um, I believe, yeah, Saeed and Pablo both play for West Ham, but they're both respectively going on loan. Uh, I'm just guessing that just West Ham can't really use them right now, so that's why they're going there. And the big one, it's not gonna happen right away, but once again, we're doing this dance again. But it seems like this time it's a little bit different. Kylian Mbappe is coming to Real Madrid this summer. It is official. Apparently, he's taking a pay cut to come to Real Madrid. But it's not necessarily complete. I don't think it, because I look, the same thing happened last time. The same exact thing happened last time. We had all the big media heads saying, "Yeah, Mbappe is coming to Real Madrid." I got excited. I was hoping. I was praying. I was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna have one of the best players in the world, coming to Real Madrid." And then, PSG went ahead and fucked me over and gave him a lucrative deal, which I was like, respect. You played dirty, and I respect it. But just because this is why, like, I just find it really, it's I want to believe it, but I don't at the same time. And even though there's certain people that have announced it, I'm just like I won't believe it till I see him in a Real Madrid jersey. Right now, that's where I'm at. I will not believe it till I see him in a Real Madrid jersey. I have been teased by Kylian Mbappe for 2 years now, and I honestly, I just don't know if I want to continue being abused. I just don't. I don't know what else to say, man. I'm hoping this deal happens. I hope he moves to Madrid. I hope it's real. Like if and because this is a move that I've been wanting Real Madrid to do for quite some time. This is something that would elevate Real Madrid, elevate La Liga. So this would be massive if this does happen. Seems like it's gonna happen, but I don't know. I just don't trust anything now. Like I literally have gone through this too many times now where I just don't know if it's true or not. So we'll see what happens. Apparently he's taking a pay cut to come to Madrid. Apparently he's foregoing the bonuses that he would be receiving from PSG because PSG is not happy. Um, because once again they're walking. Essentially, what's happening is that what PSG was worried about is that Kylian Mbappe is leaving. They're gonna lose Kylian Mbappe and not get anything in return for him. Um, which you could have. You could have plenty of times with Real Madrid. Real Madrid was prepared to give you guys the money. You guys thought he was just gonna go to fucking Saudi Arabia for some fucking odd reason. But Real Madrid was prepared to pay you guys. You just didn't want to fucking do a deal with Real Madrid. I'll be honest with you. That's honestly what it was. Like you guys were hoping that any other club would have given you guys the money that for Kylian Mbappe, and no one else did. But Real Madrid did, even with the hopes that Kylian Mbappe was gonna leave when his contract was up, he was gonna go to Real Madrid. But like once again, PSG just not being good with their decisions. Like, if you wanted to get something out of Mbappe, you should have done it last year when Real Madrid was prepared to offer you a lot of money for him. And now he's leaving free. He's going to Real Madrid, and you guys got nothing out of it. So I have no sympathy for PSG. PSG has gotten super annoying to me. Like, I think maybe, just maybe. My new rival might be PSG and not Tottenham anymore. But let's face it, I fucking hate Tottenham. So there is that. That is transfers, man. So we won't be talking transfers not till we get to the summer. But all right, Champions League, man. The UEFA Champions League, the round of 16 is kicking off February 13th, February 14th also. I know that's Valentine's Day, but I got nothing. I got nothing holding me back for that. Anyways, so all right, here are the matches. So the matches are going to be played on these matches will be played on February 13th, which is Tuesday, and March 6th. So that would be the second time the second leg for these teams. All right, first matchup, RB Leipzig taking on Real Madrid. This is I think it's pretty interesting. I think Leipzig is definitely a team that I kind of have a soft spot for. Xavi Simons is a name that's always going to pop up when we talk about RB Leipzig. But unfortunately, I just don't think they have the team that can go toe to toe with Real Madrid. The only thing that would really help their case is if Real Madrid is just not great health wise, which is kind of what they're going through right now, especially in the back line. But Real Madrid still manages to win matches. So, you still have the best manager in the world. Don't come at me. Okay, maybe it's Pep Guardiola, but Carlo Ancelotti is definitely up there in the conversation. Um, I think this is a pretty good matchup. Honestly, I think this is a open and shut case. Like Real Madrid wins this one. Um, like I said, the only thing that will really like help RB Leipzig if Real Madrid has like some key injuries. I know Vinicius Jr. did not play the past week. Was actually pulled out of the Atletico Madrid game because of an injury. But we'll see what happens with him. But I think that would be like the big factor is if how healthy is Real Madrid when they take on RB Leipzig. But I take their chances regardless because it just Jude Bellingham, Federico Valverde, Brahim Diaz. He's proven to be able to step up. Rodrigo obviously always comes in clutch. Joselu has really done very well. And yeah, so I'm pretty confident in Real Madrid. The other game, which this is just so unfair, man. Copenhagen taking on Manchester City. This is just not fair. Like, this is basically just saying, "Hey, Copenhagen, thanks for coming," because that's honestly all. That's it. It's over. That's all, folks. Like, they're not coming. They're not winning this one. Like, there is no shot. I'll probably put in a bet just to like root for Copenhagen because obviously it's Man City, but there's just no way, man. Manchester City wins this clear. I wish I could make a valid argument for Copenhagen, but I can't. So there's that. So those are the games that are played on Tuesday, and once again will be played March 6th. On Valentine's Day and March 5th, the matches are Lazio versus Bayern Munich. What the fuck was I doing? Versus Bayern Munich. This one's a little interesting. Lazio's a little frisky. You guys know I like a frisky team. Bayern Munich. Now they haven't been bad. I know a lot of people are trying to say that they're bad, but they're not the Bayern Munich that we're used to. And if you're a Bayern Munich hater, you might be happy with that. But it really hasn't been. This has not been the same Bayern Munich team that we've seen many other times before. So it's going to be an interesting how they approach this game. I do think they still have a really loaded team. I think that they are still a really good team. Lazio at this point is kind of playing with house money right now. So I'm going with Bayern Munich. I think Bayern Munich continues to be continues to be the team that they are. I think Lazio is going to put up a good fight, but I just think at the end of it, it's going to be Bayern Munich. Whoa. I think I messed up in some way. Let me see. Is it Bayern Munich and Lazio? Let me see. Let me see. Champions League, Champions League. Yeah, it is Lazio. Okay, all right. So who is PSG playing then? Did I mess up with PSG? Real Sociedad. That's who PSG is playing is Real Sociedad. I when I was typing this up that I forgot I put in Lazio twice. Okay, that's all good. But PSG will be taking on Real Sociedad. PSG. I mean, they're still loaded. They're still loaded. They'd be dumb if they don't play Mbappe. Like, you're just dumb if you don't put. They're gonna play Mbappe. Mbappe's still gonna play. It's his final season. He's gonna want to at least leave with a big bang. And Real Sociedad can be good at times. There's definitely a lot of underrated players in Real Sociedad, but I just don't see them being able to beat PSG. I think PSG finally gets out of the round of 16. It seems like it's been a while. Or at least it seems like they've been struggling. Um, I do believe Jose Tellez, when me and him we're talking about this. I think he did say that he can see Real Sociedad upset PSG. Which I can see as well, but I think that I just think that this is gonna go a completely different way. I think so. Give me PSG. I think PSG does still win this one outright. All right, these matches are gonna be played February 20th and March 13th. And this is Inter Milan versus Atletico Madrid. This is, to me, get your popcorn ready because I feel like this is going to be the best game of the round of 16. Um, it's also Diego Simeone's former club. So this could be really cool. I think there's rumors possibly that Diego Simeone might be leaving Atletico Madrid at the end of the season. I don't know if that's true or not. Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me. Just don't ever quote me. Just don't quote me because I don't know things. I'm senile. I'm tired. I worked a long ass shift last night. So maybe who knows? I don't know. But Atletico. I mean, yeah, this is gonna be a really good game. I think that there's gonna be who's coming up big? Is it gonna be Lautaro Martinez? Is it gonna be I mean, it even depends on who we see from Atletico Madrid because they change things up a lot. But I mean, when you think of Atletico Madrid, you gotta think of Antoine Griezmann. Um, the but I mean, this is just a dog off, bro. This is literally just dogs playing against each other, man. So I can't wait for it. I'll definitely be watching this match for sure. Uh, who I think is gonna win? I'm gonna say Atletico Madrid. I think Atletico Madrid can be physical enough to keep themselves in the game, and I think with whatever combination they end up doing, whether it's Antoine Griezmann and Memphis Depay, whether it's Antoine Griezmann and Marco Llorente. The other thing about them is just they know how to find goals. They can find goals in multitude of ways. So give me Atletico Madrid to beat Inter Milan, which is crazy to think the team that went to the final last year is eliminated in the round of six. This honestly could be a really juicy final. Probably not gonna never happen, but it could be. Um, PSV versus Borussia Dortmund. This is an interesting game, in my opinion, but this is gonna be an underrated matchup. I honestly think it's a very underrated matchup because I feel like PSV could punch above their weight class, and Borussia Dortmund, while it's still a really good team, just hasn't been that team that we're used to seeing. Um, I could go for an upset here. I could honestly see an upset happening, but I think Borussia Dortmund, I think there's some pressure. There's some pressure right now at Borussia Dortmund. If they don't perform in Champions League, because right now it's not looking great in the Bundesliga. There's somewhat still in the fight, but it's a lot of question marks. So it would be cool to see Jadon Sancho though. Jadon Sancho back in could be the big it factor for me, but I still see Borussia Dortmund winning this matchup. All right, these matches will be played February 21st and March 12th. We have FC Porto versus Arsenal. I will say this. there is no way in there like if Arsenal loses this matchup, they had to have choked and choked badly. Um, it's ironic because the team that eliminated them from the Europa League last year was actually Sporting, and now they're going against FC Porto, another Portuguese team. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I think Arsenal are finding a lot of confidence now. They had a big win against Liverpool, so I think that there's a lot of confidence with them. We'll see how they do this coming weekend, but I think that right now they're firing on all cylinders, and they want to keep that form going. So I think Arsenal definitely beats FC Porto. And the last matchup is Napoli versus Barcelona. This is very interesting to me because I think if you had asked me early, probably when they did the drawing for the knockout round, I probably would have picked Barcelona. But man, I don't know anymore. This is a toss up now to me. I don't think Napoli is the same Napoli team from last year, so that could be a benefit. But like, it's not looking good right now at Barcelona. I could see Napoli beating Barcelona. Um, and I think that's where I'm going. I think Napoli beats Barcelona. I think Barcelona gets eliminated. Because I just don't know. I just don't know with this Barcelona team anymore. So there is that. But yeah, so that's Champions League. We're gonna go ahead and take a break. You're gonna hear Musa. Musa's gonna join with me to talk African Cup of Nations, and then we'll segue into Players of the Week. Hey guys, this is Hector from the InsertName FC podcast here to tell you guys about Canada Dips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canada Dip CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com. Once again, BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canada Dips for being a great partner of BellyUpSports. All right, guys, we're back. There is a final this coming weekend. Actually, there's 2 finals at Asian Cup. Maybe talking. I might do a little Asian Cup segment actually after we do this one. But along with the Asian Cup, we also have the African Cup of Nations. It's finally going to be concluded. Obviously, we got to bring in the big guns over here with us, and that's of course Moussa from Mo Football. Thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for helping us out covering African Cup of Nations. By the way.
My pleasure. It's been fun. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I will say before we get going with looking at the semifinals,
Mhm.
I mean, what do you have to say from just an overall, just a quick recap of what this tournament has been?
I would say it's been a lot of surprises from all the way from like Cape Verde to Guinea to Mali. Getting out of the group stages. I think the history of like the African Cup of Nation that not many people know, a lot more people are watching now these days. And one thing that they kind of figured out or found out is that it's a lot more competitive than all the other tournament that they can think of. Like, the World Cup, usually when, there's a big country, they're most likely going to win the game, unless there's something that goes, extremely bad.
Mm-hmm.
But here's like from the very first game to all the way to the semifinals, there's been, excitement, a lot of goals. And I think the big straw was like the fans on the stadium. As you can see, like, a lot of dancing, partying, and you don't hear too much of fighting or anything like that. So it's really showed what African soccer is, which is fast paced, lots of goals, and a lot more celebrations. And, those walkouts were even better. I don't know if you saw every time there was a country that was coming in, they had like a dance in the hallway going to their
Oh yeah,
their
man.
locker rooms.
Being
Yeah.
somebody that got spoiled by the golden era. Well, okay, I guess there's like multiple golden eras of Brazil, but
Right.
the 2002 to 2006 period of Brazil where it's
Yeah.
Ronaldinho, Ronaldo Fenomeno. Adriano,
Yes.
the legends, Cafu, Dida, a young Robinho before he became a major bust. All those things, man, like that was the vibe, right? I mean, we saw those great commercials with them just in the locker room, just kicking the ball around,
Mhm.
and the vibes are um basically identical to every locker room in African Cup of Nations. So,
Yes.
once again, it's just football at its purest, and I think that's one of the things that I definitely enjoyed from the tournament. Also, the theme was just dramatic finishes. I mean, I
Hmm.
felt like there was more goals in stoppage time than anywhere else. But
Don't
it
walk
brings
away.
yeah, it's must see TV. If you think it's over, it's not over. It has been really enjoyable from the jump. But just a quick recap of the quarterfinals. So Nigeria did beat Angola 1-0. Congo beat Guinea 3-1. Ivory Coast beat Mali 2-1, which Ivory Coast got two red cards in that game, which
Yes.
they lost Adilan Kasonu and Omar Diakite, which
Yeah.
I noticed the Ivory Coast has a lot of disciplinary cards from this tournament. I was looking over like some of like the statistics so far
Mhm.
from the tournament, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of yellow and reds for the Ivory Coast, which a little bit more impressive their run so far. And of course, South Africa beating Cape Verde 2-1 in penalties, which is an amazing scoreline for penalties.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
awfully nice. Yes.
awfully nice. But here we are, the semifinals. Nigeria beats South Africa in penalties. They go distance 4-2 in pens. Um, I mean,
Nigeria got lucky on that one.
I've been waiting for Nigeria to be this team to like start being like the heavy goal scoring team. And
Mhm.
I think that's mainly also towards my bias with Victor Osimhen, but I mean, right now their leading goal scorer is Ademola Lookman, who only has 3 goals, and I mean he scored 2 of them in one game.
Yes.
So, so I feel like the only thing is just like clearly this Nigeria team has some quality. It's that final bit, the finishing part where I still haven't seen it yet, and I don't know if that's how you feel about Nigeria. Um,
Um, I'll say that they were, I think, more calculated than what they're used to be. I guess I would say, especially that they have like a foreign coaches as well.
mhm,
So it looks like they have maybe a little bit more of the tactical aspect to where they're not going forward as much or making so many runs. It's their runs are more calculated towards the goal. And it looks like Ultimate was more of a supporting cast mostly. Even though, it's like knowing that you're a defender and you have Osimhen on the other side or in front of you, you pretty much pay attention to him, or you're going to go and double him or even triple. And then after that, you have another forward or center midfield free to do whatever he wants because there's 3 defenders on Osimhen. That's why he only scored 2 goals, and one was disallowed because there was a PK on the other side.
mhm,
So it looks like I think we got a little bit spoiled on the high scoring players when they're at their clubs
mhm,
because their job is to score. They're not going to go in the midfield, they're not going back in defense. But when they go and play for their home countries, you could see Osman was kind of getting back a lot more towards the middle to kind of
mhm,
help. So I think that's where it's kind of the not scoring so many goals, but he scores those important ones.
mhm. No, I definitely agree to that. I definitely will say it looked like South Africa, at least throughout regular time, it looked like it was South Africa's game.
They would
Um,
have. They should have won it.
they
That
should have
that
won it.
that last shot that the guy just flew right in the air. If he would have just done a simple tap in, the game would have been over. And that was the last shot. I
Hmm.
think they very got lucky not to lose that game, but
You gotta finish,
that's
man. You
AFCON.
gotta finish at the end of the day.
Yes.
And I think that definitely was kind of I feel like that definitely was bothering them throughout the pens because for you to only make 2 penalties and when you're going up against Nigeria, you got to make your penalties.
Yep.
So I mean, I feel like their heads were just back at that tap in that should have happened. Um, but I mean, when you're in pens, you got to just be in the now because
Yeah.
you can't be reflect. You do your reflection, after the match when you're doing your pregame analysis for the
Mhm.
for the upcoming matchup, not when you're about to go into the most important penalty kickoff in your team for
Yeah,
AFCON.
I definitely will give him. I think the biggest shout out or their props is knowing that their entire team is made out of player in South Africa. That's almost that's pretty rare these days.
Hmm.
Usually you have players from all over Europe that are playing in Europe that come and play. But picking all South African League players and then you make it all the way to the semifinals, that says a lot.
Do you think any of these guys will get a look by European club?
I,
I'm not saying like a top five team in their respective league, but maybe like a mid table team or.
I think they all get sort of those look, and CDSC in our team has Jamalo Bloom that is from South Africa. He just didn't get picked for this AFCON.
Hmm.
But I think one of those big things when it comes to South African, their league is so well established and managed that some of those players are, so well paid based on, South African currency that a lot of them are living well already. So
Hmm.
some of them, are not really inclined to go to Europe and then struggle, or get mid pay or be in the third division, where they can be in the first division of South Africa and get paid well, live well, and you still have a chance to play for the national team. Most of them, that's why they go overseas, is for that call up because you're in Europe or the US.
Hmm.
They think that stigma will help you. But I mean, you live well paid, you get called up, you're at home. I wouldn't go to Russia or, a cold place in France to play if I can stay home.
That's a fair point, very valid point. Also, especially if you end up going to some of those teams, I don't know if it's just me, but like I feel like a lot, at least like a lot of American players and I would love to say Salvadorians, but let's face it, I don't think there's many Salvadorians that get a shot in Europe. Very few, just
Hey, you
small
never know.
handful.
They might be somewhere.
There's some, but I feel like majority of the time they don't necessarily get their minutes per se. Um, I mean, I think one of the biggest complaints that a lot of people were having with some of the top American players was just the lack of minutes that they're getting. Obviously, that's not the case anymore for some of these guys, but I always think that I don't think that the stigma is there for African players specifically. I think that's more so like an American thing because everyone, likes to joke about that we call another sport football. But
Well, don't forget the British came up with soccer, so
yeah.
you can always throw that back at them.
Oh, I do. I do plenty of times.
Yes.
Uh, so there is that. But yeah, Nigeria, they're on to the final.
Mhm.
But South Africa, I mean, still, I was impressed I've been keeping a close eye on the tournament,
Yeah.
and I've been having a lot of fun watching this tournament. Um, I apologize to the fans of Asian Cup, but I just don't have Paramount Plus, and so
Yeah. That's one that I have to maybe look a little bit more into. But when they put both tournaments at the same time,
you got
you go with the one that you represent, right?
that's true, very true. But that I'm just gonna say the final for that one, Qatar versus
Is it
Jordan.
Jordan?
Yeah,
Yes.
Qatar versus Jordan. That's gonna be interesting. I might try to get like a free week subscription.
Yeah. Hey, why not?
Get
Cancel
that
it
free
before.
trial
Yeah.
and watch
Get
that
those
final.
7 days.
Start making up some emails.
Hey.
Um, but yeah, Nigeria onto the final, and the other Ivory Coast. I don't know what to say. Um, I will say this though, Sebastian Haller's goal, as accidental as it was, you know what? I don't think anybody in the Ivory Coast is gonna regret that. I think you can tell the look in Haller's face when he did not get a good touch of the ball, and it had a lucky bounce, and
That was the bounce that killed the goalie big time.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was such a poorly hit shot, but I mean, hey, it went in the back of the net, and especially if you ever see me play, I will take that every day of the week. So
Hey, if you don't take 100% of your shots, you get zero.
that's
Just try it, right?
very valid, very valid. And I mean, the Ivory Coast beat Congo. And I mean, Congo, I felt like put in a really good effort defensively. Just couldn't get in the back of the net.
Yeah,
But yeah, Ivory Coast. I have no words to say about this team right now. It
yeah.
because
We I think we have that one joke within Africans. So the word is marabu, which is almost like the voodoo like people that do. It was like I don't know what kind of sorcery they got on their side, but like the video I made is like they were pretty much dead. They were they only needed another team to lose for them to be back in the round of playoffs.
hmm
And then they come back and then just luck just strikes every game. I think
yeah.
since after that it was nothing but luck all the way to the final. Guess home advantage may have helped also. And the whole country going after them when they were in the brink of losing, of being out. The whole country was like against them big time.
hmm
I don't know if it was that or the new coach smell. As you can see, the new coach smell again does it where you replace the coach midway to a season or a tournament, and there you have it. Players that were poor the first two games are now superstars. It's like
It
it's
it's uh
yeah, I don't know.
it words can't describe it, but I mean we have a final. It's
Yes.
Nigeria versus Ivory Coast. When you look at Nigeria, they were the runner-ups of Group A.
Yep.
And how they got here, they beat Cameroon, they beat Angola, and they beat South Africa. I will honestly say, besides Cameroon, Angola and South Africa were two really strong teams in this tournament.
Yep.
And for Nigeria, have most of the time, I think if you're that runner up, obviously you're thinking you're going through a more difficult bracket because you're already having to go up against a group
It is
winner.
okay. Yes.
But I mean, of all teams that have, I mean, I would take Cameroon in a heartbeat. But I think, yeah, so it was an interesting situation for Nigeria, but they definitely had the rougher. I mean, both these teams had a very difficult road,
Oh yeah.
uh, but yeah, Nigeria, uh, a team that I think a lot of people thought would be here in some sense was definitely a heavy favorite in this tournament,
Yeah, they
and
always are.
yeah, they're in the final. Maybe not necessarily the best Nigerian team, I would say, but hey, you got to win your games, and that's exactly what they did.
And yeah, tenfold. And looks like they're saving everything as for the final. I would definitely say that Nigeria is the favorite to win, but you wouldn't bet the house because Ivory Coast has like everything going their way, which is unhealthy. But yeah, it I'm speechless when it comes to Ivory Coast.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of Ivory Coast, they were the third place team in Group A. As a matter of fact, they were the final third place team out of all the teams that finished in third place in the tournament. Barely made it into the knockout round.
Yep.
And you have to face off Senegal.
Yep.
You
And
go to penalties. I know you don't want to you don't want to relive it.
yeah, oh, trust me, I'm reliving it by with a lot of people reaching out, Nigerians especially.
Don't worry. As negative things as I say about Tottenham, I get reminded when Tottenham wins. Um,
Oh, different discussion.
different discussion. They had to go up against Mali, which was your dark horse team, a team that looked really good. I don't know what happened in that game.
They didn't finish.
They just didn't finish, but I was just like, is this the same Mali team I've been watching this entire time? Because I think it was my fault. I think because I think I said after Mali won in the round of 16, I was like, I need to start sipping the Mali Kool-Aid. So maybe I jinxed Mali. But
Nah, I think it's just AFCON that jinxed them.
yeah. And then to go and then beat Congo 1-0 in a just I don't want to boring is not the word, but obviously, finishing wasn't there, missed opportunities. Honestly, there was times where Ivory Coast could really just put this game out of reach, but they just couldn't finish it right. And I mean,
Yeah,
of all the goals to go in, it was probably the most unlikely one, but a lucky bounce also for them to get there. But
yeah, that one is, you take your shot and hope for the best. And yeah, that I'm sure the goalie will have nightmares on that one for quite a while.
yeah, and now we have a final: Nigeria and Ivory Coast. I mean,
That's gonna be a fun one.
it's gonna be a fun one.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask this: are you gonna go with the home field, the home crowd? Is that gonna be a factor? Obviously, it should be. It's a final. Um,
I
but
wouldn't be
does
surprised
this
if
luck continue?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if half of Nigeria travels to Ivory Coast, which is not that far out. But I would still say the home field advantage will work. But now the question will be how clinical Nigeria will be. If Nigeria finishes their opportunities, I don't see where Ivory Coast will come back to it. But as long as it's a tie game or it's a close game, the longer they go, I will then give that to Ivory Coast because it looks like as they get their confidence up, that's when they're starting to play a lot better. Because if you look at all other goals that they've scored, was not on the first half, was towards the either towards the end of the first half or the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what that coach is doing wise, but it's an amazing run. If they win it, that will be one for the books because it would be almost like the whole Argentina at the World Cup getting beat by Saudi Arabia, and everybody's like, "Oh snap! This is not going well." And then as the tournament goes, they go in the final. There you are. You have Ivory Coast in the final, and all
I'm
bets are off
That's a
now.
valid point because I mean a lot of people were saying that that Argentina team that won in Qatar was the worst Argentinian team anybody's ever seen. And
Yeah, because I
I
guess
don't
they
know
had
if people
only
are
two good players, but yeah, I
yeah.
think they was younger players, and it was what just Messi and Di Maria that was like the huge names.
Yeah, and Otamendi who somehow still had a job.
Yeah,
So
that's different question. Yeah, I think it's just like the buildup of teams knowing that they have their a luck with them, but also the skills to do it.
yeah,
Once you put those two together, it's like, dang,
I mean sometimes you need a little luck.
yes.
Especially with tournaments. Like there's nothing wrong with having a little luck on your side.
Oh, you need
Um,
it.
yeah, you need it to win these things, but
Yes.
yeah, man, it, it's interesting. I really am like intrigued by this just because like I didn't even have any hope for the Ivory Coast
No, but
from the start.
mean,
I mean, I
at
think
least
I had more hope for Ghana than I did for Ivory Coast. Um, and
I think just the players the country had that much hope for him, and
yeah, and it's
yeah,
just crazy to
that's
think because you fire your coach
yeah.
and yeah, then all of a sudden it's just everything. I don't even want to say the words clicking because I mean I just don't think it's not like the wins that they've had have been like they're clearly the best team on the field if that makes any sense.
It does.
Okay.
They were at the moment. I guess we'll say they will. Yes, they were. I guess we'll call it.
They weren't pretty
Yeah.
wins, is what I'm saying. The wins
Yeah.
weren't pretty,
Yes.
but they got the
Well,
win. And I mean
it's a tournament, though.
that's what you need to do in tournaments.
Yes.
You're not going to win pretty. You're not always going to win pretty.
Exactly.
And I mean you can even on the flip side, Nigeria they haven't necessarily won pretty either. So I think AFCON just it's just been this tournament has just been very unpredictable. If you would have told me, I would have been boring and saying Senegal versus Egypt again.
Yeah, I think everybody had Senegal, Morocco, Senegal, Nigeria, Morocco. Those the World Cup teams that
mhm.
typically do well. Um, even though those Nigeria and Ivory Coast are World Cup teams that do well, it's just not as recent.
Mhm.
But um, if Osimhen opens the gates and score, I think that's where things could go bad. Or as long as the game is tied or close, Ivory Coast has every chance to win it all. And winning it at home is a different feeling.
Yeah, I think the big key factor will be how physical can Ivory Coast stay, because I think the passing of Nigeria is definitely going to be a big threat.
Yep.
I think they're really good at moving the ball. They move the ball very fluid in Nigeria. And but I think Ivory Coast, they play very physical. And I think that's also one of the things that has helped them so far in this tournament, is just playing with that physicality. Um so I mean, I think as long as Ivory Coast can maintain that physicality, because I think when you go up against a team like Nigeria, I think that might be a team that maybe would be a mismatch for the Ivory Coast. Um, but like you said, I think if Victor Osimhen can, this is where we need to see a little bit more from Victor Osimhen, and start, scoring goals. Um, Not saying that he hasn't been contributing throughout the tournament. Like you said, you've mentioned how he's been contributing. But I think this is where you kind of need him to be the guy up front.
Uh,
Especially against that defense that the Ivory Coast has.
that will be his moment now, will be like to put him on that thing where even the Ballon d'Or discussion,
Mm-hmm.
that's like now if he was to carry the team to win it, he has that Scudetti now that he wanted last year. Now if he makes it happen, the African Cup of Nations, that's all into one cycle. And then after that, there will be the Euros that are coming this year, if I
Yep,
remember.
Euro this summer, Copa
Yeah.
America this summer.
So he will have his chance that, if one of the American teams, if one, I don't even know if there's one person that's standing out in South America at this moment that's like Ballon d'Or status.
Um, no, I think this year, I think it's at least this season's very open, but obviously I think
It's did Holland make the World Cup?
it's
No, he
definitely
doesn't make it. But he didn't make the World Cup. The Norway, I don't think they qualified.
oh, I don't think they made it. Maybe they didn't make it to Euro.
Yeah.
But
So that means
I
that's
mean,
almost wide open for
yeah,
Osimhen now. If he kills it now, what else can they say? He got his club team a world tournament,
hmm
and unless someone does something crazy in the Euros, I don't see anyone that can almost dispute that.
yeah, and they have and also Napoli has a very interesting matchup with, I believe it's Barcelona, um, where that could be a potential. They could probably beat Barcelona and move on, especially the way Barcelona's been playing lately.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, Champions League is also something that could still be in discussion for Osimhen as well.
Yep.
So I mean, I'll be clear. I'm going with Nigeria. I feel like I'm gonna regret that, but at the same time, I'm not. I think we've been doubting the Ivory Coast, but I just don't think this luck can last this long. Um,
Yeah.
especially when it's a team like Nigeria. I'm saying all these things, and I've said the same thing over, but I'm going with Nigeria. I mean,
It's fair.
it's fair. I think
Yes.
this could be a real coin toss. I think when it comes down to just tactics in general, I like what Nigeria has over what Ivory Coast has. And I mean, I'm a big believer in the physicality. I love watching a dude with that dog mentality, which is what Ivory Coast has been.
Oh yeah.
But when you go up against a team like the way Nigeria plays, I think they're gonna be able to. You can't be physical forever, and eventually you're gonna get worn out, especially with a team that can pass the ball. And I think that's what Nigeria can do, and so that's why I
Nigeria's
kind of
got some strong guys. However, he's a big dude. Some of those guys
yeah.
are maybe Osimhen is a little bit shorter, but he
Oh,
got some
he's not afraid.
covers.
He plays in Italy. I
Yes.
know for a fact he can hang. So
He has a mask on.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm going
and
with Nigeria. Who you picking?
I'm going slightly Nigeria. So out of 100, I would say I am 70-30. Nigeria.
Okay, I'm roughly there with you.
Yeah,
I'm also roughly there with you. I mean, I can't underestimate this Ivory Coast team.
yeah. I'll.
I mean, they
It's
both played against each other. They've
yes,
already played. They were literally in the same group. I don't know how. I don't think there's many time. I don't think there's that many times where you could say that the teams already played each other and are facing each other in the final.
yeah.
Um,
But I would say that Ivory Coast is a different team than.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
think it.
definitely, definitely
They
different
press
team.
the reset button.
They're definitely a complete. Yeah, this is redemption time for Ivory Coast. But yeah, I'm pulling for for Nigeria. You're pulling for Nigeria. But we're not. We're also not going to underestimate this Ivory
Mm,
Coast team.
no.
This final is going to be awesome. It's going to
Yes.
be Sunday. Sunday, correct? Yeah,
Uh,
man, that's going
yes.
to be Sunday's going to be a busy day for me. You got. I'm gonna have AFCON early in the day, and then I'm gonna have the Super Bowl. So that's gonna.
Yeah, I've heard there's something like that that's happening on Sunday.
The other football.
Yes. Oh, trust me. I'm in St. Louis. Kansas City is right next door. I lived in Kansas City.
Oh
This
man.
this is all we're going. That's all they're talking about. And you know who I have to technically root for. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, I mean, see, like, here's the thing. Because Patrick Mahomes is from Texas, so
okay, well, there you
I
see.
like my Texas boys, but
Mhm.
I'm also really tired of watching the Chiefs win.
Hey, just give him one more.
I mean, I won't be mad. I will not be mad if Patrick Mahomes wins another trophy. I've liked how that team has done things. It's kind of they built that team up. It's not like they did anything like shicey to get where they are, you know. So you can respect the team, but it's like it's one of those things when you see a team winning. They're basically the Golden State Warriors. Like they just
Okay.
they win too much, and then now you get tired of it. But unless you're a fan, then you're never gonna get tired of it. But
Uh,
no, I mean I can't wait. I think the Super Bowl's gonna be great. Also, AFCON's gonna be great. So you're gonna have
yes.
if you're an American, you know, watch start your day with some AFCON and then conclude it with Super Bowl. And I mean, Usher's gonna sing the halftime show, so it's gonna be a great night. It's gonna be a great night for
Ushers
every.
everywhere. Come on.
Usher's just everywhere. um, but obviously, this is not the last time we're gonna see you, Musa, because you're gonna come back to recap the final. Hopefully, we picked the
Oh,
right team. Hopefully, but if not,
yeah.
I wouldn't be mad either. I think these are two great teams to lift the African Cup of Nations to represent the champions of Africa. Also,
Yeah.
FIFA, bring back the Confederations Cup. I think that'd be really cool to bring that back. Um,
Yeah. I'm sure if there's enough money, it'll come back.
yeah, definitely. Um, but
Yeah, I think the best time that we are now is that we're watching football as neutrals, which
mhm.
makes it a lot more enjoyable
Yeah,
because
definitely.
now you have no stakes. So now you just get to enjoy, you know, the fruit of great soccer. And it's on Sunday now. We don't have work, nothing to worry about, just sports.
Exactly. Amen to that. But all right, Musa. Obviously, this is the time where you can go ahead and plug whatever you want to plug, anything that big's coming your way over at Mo Football.
Okay. Yes. So as usual, Mo Football podcast and Mo Football in all social platform. And also don't forget to go and check my interview with Kevin Show, um, which was a very fun one. And I have a few more interviews coming up soon with players from the MLS, USL, and also NPSL
Ooh,
very
man.
soon. So um, the goal the goal now is not only to promote not only the MLS but also some of the in quotes lower leagues and also all the way down to like the UPL and the local teams here. So from all amateur all the way to professional, kind of just talk soccer, promote it all across, and just enjoy life.
That's a great way to do it, man. All right,
It's
Musa, thank you so much, man. We'll definitely have you. I can't wait to have you on next week to recap the final.
it's gonna be fun. It's thank you for having me and it's a pleasure talking soccer or football.
Always. All right, guys. Players of the week is brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is an amazing app website. However you go about it, it is an awesome app. It gives you a wide variety of ticket options for concerts, music, concerts, theater, comedy, sports. If it's in a venue, it's definitely going to be there. They have a very simple grading system where it is just a color system. If it is green, it is an amazing deal. If it's red, just look for something else. So a lot of great options. I've used SeatGeek plenty of times, especially when I'm trying to go to a last minute game. I get the best deal with some good seats, so it definitely helps me out. So if you guys, for first time users only, if you guys use the code BellyUp20 at checkout, you will save $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. That's correct. $20 off on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. Use the code BellyUp20. Save yourself $20 off your first purchase. All right. So Edwards, player of the week is Alejandro Garnacho, who scored 2 goals in Manchester United's 3-0 win against West Ham United. That was a masterclass for Manchester United. That probably gives you a lot of confidence in some of the potential players over there at Manchester United. So solid performance there. My player of the week is Olivier Giroud, for the second time featured for this year. He scores a goal and assist in AC Milan's 3-2 win against Frosinone. So congratulations to Alejandro Garnacho and Olivier Giroud for being our players of the week. Make sure you guys, for first-time users, use the code BellyUp20. Save yourself $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. All right, guys, we do have some games to look forward to this coming weekend. Sporting Lisbon taking on Braga over in Portugal. Really good matchup. Both of them doing pretty well right now in Portugal, actually. So go ahead and check that out. Brazil taking on Argentina in the pre-Olympics. So U23 team, if you're interested in seeing the potential of Brazil and Argentina, well, keep your eyes on that one. Like I said, the final of the Asian Cup and the African Cup of Nations is coming up this weekend. So make sure you guys stay tuned to see who are the best of Asia and Africa. In Liga MX, we got Monterrey taking on Pachuca and León versus America. Ligue 1, PSG versus Lille and Nice versus AS Monaco. Bundesliga, we got Borussia Dortmund taking on SC Freiburg, and a heavyweight matchup that could really change the whole Bundesliga situation picture as Bayer Leverkusen takes on Bayern Munich. This is a big one for Bayern Munich if they can get a win off of Bayer Leverkusen. One, I believe this will be their Bayer Leverkusen's first loss if that happens. But it does shake things up and could put Bayern Munich back in the race for the top seed. In this top seed, to be the league leaders. In the Serie A, we got Roma taking on Inter Milan and AC Milan taking on Napoli. So, hey, that might be an advantage if you're a Barcelona fan. If AC Milan can get Napoli a little bit tired before your matchup. In La Liga, we got Real Madrid taking on Girona, which this is a big opportunity for Real Madrid to be able to push themselves above Girona on the table and get some separation there. And Sevilla, which is the other team that's featured on my jersey bet, they're trying to avoid relegation, takes on Atletico Madrid. So let that sink in how you feel. In the English Premier League, we got Tottenham taking on Brighton and Aston Villa versus Manchester United. Definitely Manchester United chance for them to keeping their form as they take on another team that wears burgundy and blue. So, all right. So those are games to look forward to this coming weekend. Obviously, it's not all the games, but if you guys need some help in some matches to watch, well, there's a good beginner's guide for you guys. So, We're going to go ahead and take one more break, and then we'll wrap this show up with my closing thoughts.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at RighteousFelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
All right, guys. So my closing thoughts is actually going to be about what happened yesterday on my first and only day at Texas Pipe Supply. So that is where I was going to work at, Texas Pipe Supply. I want to start this off by explaining one thing. I am not someone that shies away from heavy manual labor. Like I'm someone that doesn't mind working a physical job. So I just want to put that out before anyone starts saying, "Oh, he couldn't handle the workload." I honestly didn't mind the workload. It wasn't that bad. So obviously, you guys know I've been unemployed since July, since I got fired by the Houston Dynamo. And honestly, it's been rough looking for work. I've been getting a lot of those emails of oh, we moved on with a different candidate, or I even got one that says you're just overqualified. I've had the emails where, oh, we're just not gonna hire anybody for this position. So I've gotten all the things. I've gotten interviews. I've had interviews. I've been ghosted after these interviews. So it's been long. It's been a long, rough period of just being unemployed. So when I was looking for jobs, once again searching through Indeed, LinkedIn, Teamwork Online, if you guys don't know, is where you could probably find sports related jobs. Just the whole nine. Shoot, I've even applied at fucking Walmart and Sam's Club, so just so you guys have an idea. But anyways, I was looking for a job, primarily the one that would require me to work during the day. That's what I'm looking for, just a basic just job that I will work during the day, Monday to Friday. I don't necessarily don't mind working weekends, but I would prefer to, just because I have some responsibilities on Saturday, at least early Saturday, where I know some jobs might have a problem with if I had to work a full shift that day. So I was looking for a job that would have at least some flexibility as well. And I ended up seeing a job. It was Texas Pipe Supply, for a pipe yard helper. And basically, what the pipe yard helper does is just they help out the forklift operator. So the forklift operator is just they do a multitude of things. They unload trucks for new that to receive a new inventory. They also obviously load trucks for orders, prepare orders, whatever is given to them on their computer. That's what they do. The helper essentially, because obviously for the forklift we're talking about like friggin' like forklifts on steroids. It's not like those forklifts that you see in warehouses. Like these things can handle like industrial level equipment, which obviously we're talking about pipes. So obviously that it has to be able to handle that kind of workload. But so obviously it'd be really redundant if they had to like grab something with the forklift and then come down and bundle, so that's the whole point of the helper. The helper is there to do that. And honestly, the helper, all they do is they just do whatever the forklift operator tells them that they need them to do, whether it's to chalk up a pipe rack, which involves using a nail gun, reading part numbers, verifying part numbers, measuring the pipe, all those things. That's what the helper is there to do. So so when I applied, once again, had no problem with what the job was at hand. because of one thing, and this was the real reason why I accepted the job. Because the job it offered me 3 shifts: a Monday to Friday day shift, which would be working from 7 to 5, a night shift that was 2:30 to 11 p.m., I believe, and then there was a weekend shift, which was Friday to Monday, working 7 to 5. Obviously, I want to work Monday to Friday from 7 to 5, so I was like, that's the shift I want, so I applied for it. I got a call back, then I got interviewed, and this is where things kind of got a little weird to me. So when I interviewed, the guy told me that we'll actually stay till 7 p.m. So not 5 p.m., 7 p.m. Because he's like that, sometimes we have to stay later. Well, no, he didn't even say sometimes. He's like, yeah, we have to stay later. So I was like, that's weird. And I kind of told him, I thought the position was 7 to 5. He's like, yeah, but we also, so like, if you guys need to think about it, 7 to 5, if you include a 30-minute lunch break, because they only give you 30-minute lunch breaks, that's you're basically working 9.5 hours. So and obviously do the math. If you work 5 days, you're definitely going over 40 hours a week. So you're gonna get overtime regardless. But now 7 to 7, that's 12 hours. Okay, with the 30-minute lunch break, 11.5 hours. So you're definitely going over you're definitely getting overtime. And then the guy mentions to me in the interview that we also work Saturdays, which now I'm starting to get like a lot of red flags here, because once again, there's a night shift and a weekend shift offered also to the job, and now I'm finding out that we're gonna stay, and it's like, so what's the point of having a night shift? What's the point of having a weekend shift if you're gonna just have us come in regardless? Because he didn't make it seem like that Saturday was optional. So that was where I was kind of really confused. But I definitely saw that as a red flag. And I kind of explained to the guy that was interviewing me, which was the manager, was like, hey man, like, just let you know, on Saturdays I can't be coming in early. Like, I gotta, there's something that I have to do in the morning before I can. So I told him, honestly, man, 10 a.m. is like the best time I can give you to come in. And if we're talking about an optional Saturday to work, then it shouldn't be that big of a deal, because it's just an optional thing to come in for. But he didn't seem too thrilled about that question, which is like, that was the funny thing to me, was like, I tried to like give them like restrictions on my schedule, and they still proceeded to offer me the job. Despite the red flags, obviously the reality is I needed a fucking job. I've been unemployed since July, so I need a fucking job. And so I get, I do everything, the drug test and all that shit, and so I started my first and only day was yesterday, Monday. I come in, obviously, like, I didn't actually work at the yard yet. I had to be doing like training and go watching, just training, taking tests, doing all the onboarding stuff. And then like around 12 we were taken to where we are, I guess, like where the yard helpers have like their resting area. And then we went ahead. So basically, the pipe yard is massive. It is a lot of land that they've accumulated over the years. Apparently, even like bought out like other pipe companies that were around them to build the property now that they have. So it's this massive amount of land. So it's wouldn't be ideal to be walking around it. Especially if you're trying to get to one job to another. And once again, you're doing multiple. You're not just doing one specific thing. Like, you could either be loading up a truck, you could be unloading a truck, you could even be preparing orders. So like, you're not assigned to one specific thing. You're doing a multitude of things. Whatever job's available, that's what you're doing. So they take you in these vans across the yard, and like throughout the day, they they'll come pick you up and take you to another site to do another job. But most of the time, you're usually with the forklift operator that you're assigned to. So the forklift operator that I was assigned to, won't say his name out of respect. He was with the company for a long time. To the point where no one messes with him. He's actually as a matter of fact, he's the only one that leaves at 5. Like no one questions him. No one, like none of the supervisors say anything. None of the managers say anything. He leaves at 5, and everybody knows it. And it's because he's really good at his job. He actually taught me a lot of things. And I don't know what gave him the feeling to do so, but you know, we had some downtime while we were working. I think it was because we were waiting for another forklift operator to finish whatever they were doing so we could start doing what we were gonna do. He comes, he gets off the forklift and he just talks to me for a bit, and he tells me, "Hey man, like you're gonna work a lot of hours here." He's like, "I leave at 5, but I can do it because I've been here for so long. If you can't if you can't do it, like if you just can't work Saturday," or he's like, "I can't get, like you can't get out of working late." Like he's like, because basically, and the supervisor, I should have mentioned this, the supervisor, when he picked me up, he told me that, so now remember, I was told 7 to 5, then I was told 7 to 7. Now this guy tells me that, 8 plus, like he's like, to be honest, we don't even know when our day is over. And I was just like, what? He's like, yeah, sometimes we go all the way till 12 in the morning. Sometimes even past that. Sometimes 6 a.m. Because basically the way it is they don't stop working till everything's done. Once again, there's a night shift and a weekend shift. So I still don't understand it. But I kind of gave this guy like a reluctant look. Like I was like, hey man, like I was told 7. He was just like, and he kind of give me this look like either you're with or you're not. So, but anyways, going back to talking with this I'll say Unk. I'll call him Unk for right now. But Unk was telling me basically, he's like, "Hey man, if you need, like, don't work Saturday. If you don't need to work Saturday, like, let them know you can't work Saturday. Like, be upfront about it. Don't let them tell you what to do." So I was like, okay. And so, like, for me, that gave me like the foreshadowing of what that night was gonna be like, because he straight up told me, he's like, they're going to keep you here for a very long time. And so, and it's because, once again, the logic's clear. You don't stop working until all the trucks are gone. Like, because there's just trucks lined up waiting to come in and pick up their orders. So I get those things. But once again, you have a night shift and a weekend shift along with your day shift. Like, that's why you have a night shift, is so that way you can turn over whatever needs to be done to the night shift guys. But that's not here or there, and I'm not trying to exhaust myself with that. Because, one, I'm still so fucking tired from the night, because I didn't. So our day wasn't over till 11 in the morning. 11 in the morning was when we finally finished. So I was there from 7 a.m. 11 in the morning till 11 p.m. Which, that is fucking wild. I wasn't even sure if I was. So I was actually, like, when I got in my car, I was in my head. I was like, all right, well, I guess I got to be back here at 7. I was mentally preparing myself, so I wouldn't have been recording today. As I'm recording, like, one, I wouldn't even know when I would be able to record. I wouldn't even know if I'd be able to record with Moussa. But I recorded. Well, not recorded. So on the car ride home, and then here's the other thing too. So as you're working night, like I said, you only get 1 30-minute lunch break, which is at 2:30, which is around, like, no, not 2:30, like at 11:30. So you get a lunch break at 11. Then you get like a 15-minute break around 2:30ish, around there. After that, you're just out in the yard. And like, when I realized it was already 7, and the guy, so like I said, Unk, obviously he leaves at 5. So he finished his last task and then he just left. And that's also the other thing that's kind of weird because like when you're a forklift operator, you don't necessarily have to follow your forklift operator everywhere he goes. He'll just because sometimes they'll keep you at a specific spot just so they remember where where they were at. So that's why you stay back there. But yeah, so Unc just leaves. He doesn't come back because one, I didn't realize it was 5. Like time flies when you're out on the yard, to be honest. Well, during the day. So so I literally stood there for like a good 30 minutes at where Unc left me. And then the supervisor comes in his van and he just tells me to hop in. He's like, "Hey, yeah, Unc left. Unc's done for the day." I was like, "Oh, so he always leaves at 5?" He's like, "Yep, always at 5." Once again, no one argued with him. It's Unc. Unc's been there for so long. He's earned that right, which I get. And so he drops me off with this one guy, and so me and him start loading up a truck. And he starts kind of explaining to me how like things are, and I'm fucking hungry. It's already like 6 now, 7, 6, 7 around there now. After we loaded up the truck, and he luckily he had bananas. Like he brings some food with him. He brings a bag of just like all this food or energy drinks because he's like, it's gonna be a long night, man. So we stayed at that spot for a little bit, and then a van comes in, takes us. We go do another job, and that's literally just the whole rest of the night. You're getting picked up and getting sent to another job, picked up, getting sent to another job, and you keep going until all the trucks are loaded up. And so, and I asked the guys like, "Hey, man, do they never ever give you guys like another break to have like dinner?" And they're like, "Nope." Yeah, and that's when the guy that I was with, like, they call him Country. That's what his nickname is. Out of respect, I won't say his real name. But they call him Country, and he was basically like telling me like, "Yep, nope, they keep us out here. That's why I always bring food with me." And so, and then so we keep loading up trucks. We keep doing some bundling pipes, everything you could think of. And yeah, so after all that, we finished at 11 at night, and as I got in my car and I was just like trying to figure out, am I gonna even eat, or I was like literally trying to debate like what I want to do. Do I even want to shower? Like things like that. Like I had to calculate, like do the math of like, all right, well, if I take a shower, that takes away some time for me to sleep. Because like I gotta wake up. I gotta at least wake up at 4:45 ish, just so I can do my morning routine, which is usually just do my business, brush my teeth, eat breakfast, and then go to work. And so I was really contemplating on it, and I just realized at that moment I was like, I am not doing this for 6 days straight. Like this, because to me, the reason why I was fine with a 7 to 5 shift, because it gives me the rest of the day. I don't mind that. I don't mind having the day. Like I don't mind. It's like I can care less of overtime. I will tell you that full honesty. I can give a rat's ass about overtime. Like if I accepted the wage, which the wage was 15 an hour, if I accepted the wage, that means I'm okay with the pay. I'll work with the pay, and I'll still work my basic 40 hours. I have no problem with it. Maybe pick up some overtime every now and then, but I'm fine with the hours that are given to me. And that's the thing that like bugged the hell out of me, was because because I just was so like, I'm just like, I like a work-life balance. Like I don't mind working a Saturday. I don't mind working a Sunday. I don't mind working days that if I need to work those days. But I also want like, some balance where I can do this, obviously the podcast, but Like, and I mean, I've proven from time to time that I can work around that because, you know, when I was with the Dynamo, even though I had to record by myself, which funny enough, I kind of am today, but I can work around those things because I'm given time to at least have some sort of life balance where I can be with my family. And that's also the other thing. It's like, I like spending time with my family. Like, sue me for wanting to, you know, that I want to be around my family. So I don't, so like, that's where I'm like, I don't fucking care about overtime. I really don't fucking care about getting overtime. Like, give me a reasonable hours to work, and I'm fine with it. I don't have, and like honestly, it doesn't even have to be 7 to 5. Like I don't mind working a night shift. Like as long as you guys can give me Monday so I can, you know, do my thing with Edward, but give me time with like so I can be with family. That's the thing that's more important to me than anything else. And so while I'm telling you guys, while I'm not telling you for those like there's people out there that don't mind working, like don't mind, you know, working every fucking day, long ass hours, you know, like there's people out there that don't mind it. I'm one of those people that do, and that's just me. Like so, and once again, I don't want anyone to think like, oh, this guy can't handle workload. I was doing fine. I was hanging with them, and this was my first day. Like I was like, I didn't know shit, but I was able to hang with them. I picked things up as I went. So, so I just want to point that out. I don't want this to be like one of those things like, dang, Hector can't keep a job, and that's not the case. Like I'm a good worker. I've proven to be a good worker everywhere that I've worked at, even at jobs that I didn't even want to be there for. I was able to do the work and I did it as best as I could. So that's the thing. I personally just didn't like it. One, because I felt like I was being lied to by the application. Because like clearly there was no shifts. Or at least if there was, then I don't know. Because I ended up asking I was asking Country that actually, as a matter of fact. Like I was like, hey man, like, is there a night shift? He's like, there is, but they're not very good. Like that's the logic to why you keep your day shift longer because your night crew isn't good enough. Like that's not a my problem. That's not a me problem. That's a your company problem. So there's that. And I know some people are gonna be like, bro, how are you gonna bash, you know, Texas Pipe Supply? You're never gonna get a job with them again, and that's fine. I really don't want a job from them. If that's how they're gonna fucking make you work, then I don't want to. Then I fucking don't want it. So that's just it, man. That's my closing thoughts, man. At the end of the day, man, you know, do what you think what's good for you, man. Work whatever's works for you. Like if it is working fucking 7 a.m. to fucking midnight, then cool. You like that shit, but not me. So be true to yourself. Just because, like, I think there's one thing that I will say about the younger generations. Like people complain about, like, oh man, these guys quit after a week or a day, and it's just like you know, it's just there's just jobs where you're like, I don't think like I'll tell you perfect example. When I worked at Johnstone, I love working at Johnstone. I loved it. It was a good job. I kind of burned that bridge just because like I chose to go to El Salvador over working with them. But like when I started working there, yes, it is a lot of work. Yeah, it is a fucking lot of work. But I didn't mind it because at the end of the day, you know, you come in at 8. No, you come in at what time did we come in? I think it is 7. No, it is 8. It is 8. Isn't it? Or it might be 7. No, wait. Yeah, it's 8 to 5. Whatever time it was. You come in at that time, you do your job, you leave at 5. Easy peasy. And then maybe in the summer when things got really busy, you might leave a little bit later, but you understand it because of the shift. You understand it. So, but I was fine with it because at the end of the day, most times I left at 5. So it gave me a good life balance, and I did have to, and I had to work every other Saturday, and it wasn't for like a long period. It was just fucking 4 hours. You had to come in on Saturday and work, and it wasn't that bad. And you always had Sunday off. So to me, that was fine. I was fine with those hours. So once again, I don't. It's not that I don't like to work a heavy workload. Like, it's a matter of giving me that work-life balance. If I don't get that work-life balance, then I'm not gonna stick around. Some people probably been, you should have just stayed there till you found a job. Bro, I could just keep and I'm not doing this to brag, but I could just keep collecting unemployment. Like, I still have some left over on my balance, so I could just keep collecting unemployment until a job with a better work-life balance could come in. But yeah, there's that. So that's my closing thoughts is, don't stay around if you're not happy with the situation. That's all I gotta say. All right, because you gotta be able to be okay with where you work at. That's all I'm gonna say right there. That's how I'm gonna wrap it up. But all right, shout out to the Belly Up Podcast Network. Check out their website, BellyUpSports.com. Check them out on Instagram and X at BellyUp Media and at BellyUpSports. Also, GolzTV. Thanks to Moussa for coming on to talk more African Cup of Nations. You can check out GolzTV at Golz.tv or on Instagram or on the X at GOLZ_TV, GOLZ_TV. And of course, shout out to Roosevelt Spencer. He's the guy that makes the beats, the intros, the outros, everything. He is our guy. So check him out on Instagram at That Guy Dope. Once again, at That Guy Dope. So you can be in the know. Hit him up with not in the know, but hit him up with a message to see, to get some beat work done, whether you're in the music or you're trying to get a podcast going or a YouTube channel. Reach out to him because he takes really good care of you. But thank you for listening to episode 161. Catch us next week with Edward for episode 162, which will feature an interview. So there's that. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to episode 161. Catch us next week for episode 162. Take care, guys.
I don't